Welcome to Mark Loves Cars. Today we drive the Audi RS5. Gone is the V8, replaced by a twin-turbo V6. Is it still worthy of carrying the RS5 badge? Yes, yes it is. Today we are driving a 2019 Audi RS5. It has just about 79,000 miles on it. So this car has seen a lot of use, and honestly, it's held up great. I mean, it looks and drives pretty much like new. I know those of us Audi owners, we worry about the longevity and reliability of these cars. I have a Q5. I think this car has held up especially well. We are driving in dynamic mode, which on Audis makes everything as sporty as possible. And then the next level up is pressing or pulling the shifter down to sport mode. We'll do that right now. When you shift into sport mode, the exhaust gets much more throaty, louder. Obviously the steering tightens up, the shift points are much quicker, so it's a lot more fun. Never ceases to amaze. It's fantastic. Alright, let's start with my most important category, steering and handling. Alright, so we're taking my usual 35-mile-an-hour turns, a lot faster than 35 miles an hour. We're doing about 60. Let's head into it. Flat as a pancake, this car. Super flat. Fantastic. Amazing grip. Whew. So we're doing over 60 there. Excellent grip, obviously. Little throttle in the turns helps there. With the all-wheel drive, really puts it down. This car handles very flat, really no body roll. The steering is precise, but it's just too loose for me. So as you can see here, as I move it around, like the car responds instantly. So I have no problems with the precision of it. There's not really a terrible dead spot. A little bit of an on-center dead spot, which you can see here as I move the wheel. Nothing's really happening, but as you move the wheel more, it responds quickly. And the problem I have with most Audis, and this one included, is the steering is just too numb, too vague, too loose feeling. It's not sporty. You know, you drive like an M3, and this is just part of the modern electric steering problem, but you drive an M3, and it just feels weightier. I like a weightier steering. This in dynamic plus sport, as sporty as it gets, it's just not weighty enough for me. This is the base steering. I hear the optional steering, the dynamic variable steering gives you modes that feel better, but anyway, really off the bat, the only thing I don't like about this car is the way it steers. The handling is excellent. The steering, as I said, it's just a bit too loose, lacks feedback, too light for my taste, but every Audi is like that. It's crazy that the RS models are also like that, but they are. Anyways, let's head onto a back road here and have some fun. Yeah, the turn-in is pretty good, but obviously in S mode, like a lot of Audis, you let off the gas and it holds the revs, which is awesome. This car is 4,000 pounds. I mean, it feels heavy, but it's very, very agile for the weight. I'm really shocked it weighs 4,000 pounds. It dances and moves really well. Suspension's a bit firm on these roads, dynamic plus sport mode, but you know, it's livable. It's definitely a bit bouncy. All right, 30-mile-an-hour turn here. The brakes are fantastic. This has carbon ceramic brakes, and they're great. Do a 0 to 60 here. So 0 to 60, RS5 is very simple. Dynamic mode, push Dynamic mode, pull the lever back to go in sport mode. Traction control off. Foot on the brake. Left foot on the brake heavy. Gas it. You off the line. All right, here we go into some tough turns. Whew. For a 4,000-pound car and these 30-mile-an-hour turns, it really dances. I'm impressed with that. Nonetheless, this is not a sports car. It doesn't feel like one. All right, now let's hit the super twisties. These are tough back roads. Very bumpy, very, very snaky, serpentine, very tight. Let's see how she does. For a 4,000-pound car, I think the handling on these types of roads is admirable. It feels smaller than it weighs, I would say. But you can definitely feel the weight, but yeah. The steering's very precise. It's just, there's too much vagueness in it for me. It's not until you really like load it up that the wheel gives you like heavy feedback. But I'm getting used to it, right? I drive a Q5 and I'm used to it on that one, and I think it's something you can get used to, but steering's always going to be too light in Audis for my taste. It's just kind of the way it is. Oh dear. Gotta be careful of the beautiful wildlife. Do not want to hit any animals. I'm an animal lover, and gotta take care of these birds. Dynamic mode softens the ride up a bit, car quiets down a lot, and if you want to really get comfy, especially on bumpy roads like this, you go down a couple modes to comfort, and then it's just so quiet. It's like a luxury sedan. The steering's even more loose in comfort, like really loose. You can see here, woo, I'm flinging the wheel everywhere. It doesn't move the car, but suspension is really much more supple in comfort mode. The engine is muted, the exhaust is muted. This is like a luxury car. It really is. I think the RS5 is a great car for people who love an M3 type of a car, but they want a little bit more comfort, softer riding, a little more luxury. I think this is that. And frankly, that sounds pretty good to me. M3s and similar cars in the space, the Mercedes C-Class AMG 63S, they're very brutish, they're just brash and kind of smash you around, and they're way more fun. But if you can only have one car, I think the RS5 is a great choice. It can be your luxury touring car for family trips. This car is really roomy inside, and when you want to get a little bit wild, it can do that as well. Is it as fun or exciting as all those other cars I mentioned? No, but I like it. I think Audi did a really great job here. Over the years, I've really gotten sold on the Audi brand. Like, I'm just liking the cars more and more. I guess, I don't know if it's just age or just getting used to them. But so the interior is what you expect in an Audi. I have a Q5 almost the same year as this, and I feel right at home. Everything is exactly the same for the most part. I think there's some differences, of course, but generally speaking, the controls are exactly what I'm used to in my Q5. No surprises, and yeah, I just slotted right in. When you own a car of a brand and you go into other cars of that brand, I think the goal here is to make all the models feel very similar. This one is that. Feels very similar, obviously more special. You got the carbon fiber trim, but generally speaking, the shifter, the general layout, the gauges, everything is standard Audi in here, which is a good thing. Audis have great interiors. The wheels a bit different in the RS5, obviously, these nice paddle shifters. A few different things in the console here where the MMI controller is, but yeah, generally speaking, this feels like my Q5, and that's a great thing. I clicked with it instantly. I know all the modes, the drive modes here, drive select. It just makes it easy for me. Now's a great time to talk about all the driving modes. So we are in comfort now, which is obviously the most tame setting, and it is a car rides like a cloud on these back roads. Quiet, supple ride. The exhaust note, like when I hit the gas, you can hear the engine a little bit, but it's pretty muted, and the steering is pretty loose and luxury car feeling. Now let's put it into dynamic. You can instantly hear the engine go and the exhaust go. Oops. Okay. Now we put it in dynamic. So dynamic tightens up the steering a little bit. The ride feels a little bit firmer. We'll hit the gas a little. More exhaust, no question. The revs hang a little bit longer. But the real transformation is when you've done dynamic, drop it into sport. You can kind of hear the exhaust go, and then listen to the exhaust now. And see the revs hang. The revs just hang there, waiting for you. I'll drop it out of sport, and then it'll start shifting back down. So yeah, I think the car's got 3 very distinct characters. Dynamic sport is the most fun. Comfort is great if you're just cruising on the highway. You got the family, you got the kids in the back. They won't even know what car they're riding in. It'll seem like a regular old Audi to them, and only you will know that this car turns into a beast. I think the reality is, like right now we're in dynamic and sport. Even in this cruising, the car is still pretty supple and docile. You won't get that in an M3. Like the M cars are just raw and kind of beat you to death, and that's the whole fun of those cars. They don't make excellent grand touring cars to haul the family in. This car does, so that's where I think this car sets itself apart from all of its competitors, or a lot of its competitors. It's a great just road trip grand touring car when you want it to be, and that's something I look for in a car, honestly. So I love this car. I love this car. I would buy one. You know, this one is 2019, about 80,000 miles. You'd be looking at about 40,000 for this car, low 40s. I think this car is an incredible value for that money. I really do. Great value. All right, let's get on the highway here. Uphill ramp, but oof. Oh my God. This car is a beast. Wow. Merging onto the highway in this car is ridiculously easy. You know, on the freeway, especially you throw in comfort, which I'll do now. This car is fantastic. I mean, it's a grand touring car on the freeway. It really is. It floats along so comfortably. Beautiful, smooth, just a wonderful car. I would love to road trip this car to Los Angeles with my family. It's that smooth. It is really fantastic, and it's just effortless on the highway. I mean, even in comfort mode, you touch the gas just a little bit. I mean, we're doing over 90. Like, this car is really quick, right? 0 to 60 is like 3.6, 3.7. I would describe the power as effortless. You just touch the gas and you're doing triple-digit speeds really quickly. The car doesn't seem to really struggle or strain to get you up to those speeds. It's just fast. It's a great car, more power than anybody needs. Yeah, it's underpowered versus some rivals, but off the stoplight, this thing launches like a missile. It's amazing. So I think it's got power everywhere you want it, honestly, or need it. Top end on this car is just insane. The top end speed is just wild. Oh, the exhaust is, I love the exhaust. So in summary, I love this car. I'm really impressed. I am by the day becoming more of an Audi fan. I own one, and I'm really loving this one, to be honest with you. It's really excellent. Really excellent. All right, let's do another 0 to 60 run. Get going a little bit faster. All right, traction control off. All right, Very nice, very nice, very nice. Yeah, it really rockets you off the line, this car. All Audis are known for that, the all-wheel drive and the launch. They really just have it dialed in. They launch better than pretty much any car in their class. I never have any issues with the launch kind of flopping or bogging or not shifting the right way that you have in BMWs and some other cars, Mercedes, when you're doing launch control. This thing just rockets off the line every single time. I will say, repeated 0 to 60 runs I've done, the car seems to heat up a little bit and it's not quite as snappy off the line, but it's still super quick. And the first launch I do each day is like neck snapping. It throws you back. You gotta watch your head so it doesn't smash the headrest hard, but it's a wonderful feeling. This engine is an absolute sweetheart. I absolutely love this thing. It's fantastic. There have been complaints about it. Oh man, they ditched the V8, now they got a small V6 twin turbo. Oh, what a crime. This engine is fantastic. Very smooth, very powerful. A bit of lag, right? It's a small V6, but once you get on it, this car is just gone. It's really impressive. I love the engine. I love to own other things with the same engine. All right, we're at S3. So it takes a second. It definitely takes a second for the turbos to spool up. That is for sure. But like I said, once they do, you're gone. Even in the mid-range, like takes a second. Off the line. Off the line, it's great because the turbos are spooled because you got about 3,000 RPM as you launch it. It's a great engine. I absolutely love the engine. And it's fairly economical too. I mean, I was pulling 25 miles per gallon on the freeway. That's pretty fantastic in my book. The steering is just too late. It's too late. It's almost too quick to respond. It's too dirty. There's no feel to it. I just can't get on board with Audi steering in any car. I've learned to live with it, especially in the Q5, which I drive a lot. I just don't like it though. It's the one part about Audis I really don't like is the steering. But you know, the rest of the cars are generally really impressive, this one included. Sport mode does tighten up the steering a good bit, but it's still too loose. All right, let's take this bad boy. Woo! Now, love how the revs hang. They just hang for you. Love it. Oh. The car is definitely, as it ages, developing some squeaks and rattles. I hear rattles from all over the place, and you know, I guess that's to be expected of a 5-year-old Audi with about 80,000 miles on it, but it's not too bad, honestly. So let's talk about the transmission. It's excellent. It is an 8-speed automatic. It is not a dual clutch. You could have fooled me. It shifts. Let's stop. Brakes. Test the brakes. Oh yeah. Woo! This thing. Your brain practically flies out of your skull when you hit the brakes on this car. Excellent braking, hauling down a 4,000-pound car very quickly, very smoothly. Great brake feel. No surprise, right? It's carbon ceramics. Transmission is excellent, very smooth, really fast shifts, especially in dynamic sport. You could have fooled me, it's not a dual clutch. You kind of don't need one when an 8-speed is this good. Off the shifts. A very impressive transmission. I love dual clutches. There's obviously disadvantages to them as well. So if you can have a traditional torque converter 8-speed auto that shifts like a dual clutch, to me that's the best of both worlds. I think they did a great job with this transmission. I really do. All right, let's test the brakes out a bit. Just kind of wrench them down here. Oh yeah. Woo. Yeah, these things, wow, they stop very quickly. They're squeak free, unlike some carbon ceramics. They just feel fantastic. As I said, the brake pedal is a little soft, but it's got a nice firm bite when you're getting into it. Very progressive. Car stops on a dime, given it's 4,000 pounds. Excellent braking here for a 4,000-pound car. I'm impressed with that. Visibility is very good. Big greenhouse, lots of windows. The C-pillar is a bit big, but it doesn't really obstruct your vision too much. Yeah, I think this is like a normal family luxury car just on steroids. So that sounds good to you, right? As I said again, I think these things are a tremendous value for what you can get them used. I wouldn't buy one new, but as with any German car, let it appreciate a bit, and I think it's a fantastic value. I mean, picking up this exact car for about 40, which I think is what it would fetch right now, this is a lot of car for that money. A lot of car. Here's a nice uphill bend. Very, very flat in this turn. Very flat. Cornering's very flat. I love the way the car grips. Audis are great for that. Again, downsides, steering is just not what I want it to be. Engine is awesome. Exhaust note is a bit muted. And, you know, the car's just a bit heavy. I mean, 4,000 pounds-ish. More than that. This is the Sportback, so it's a little bit heavier. I could use 300 less pounds here, but... And, you know, again, it's more of a luxury car than its competitors. So, if none of those things bother you, this could be a great choice. I love this car. I'm now... Every car I drive, I feel like I'm going to buy it, but this one definitely is one I could live with, I think, on a daily basis. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, I'd appreciate a like. Always love to read the comments, and of course subscribe if you don't want to miss any of my future videos. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one.